Welcome to the special Tuesday, Super Tuesday edition of Market Movers. We decided to fire up an additional stream this week. Love this set of games. Jay Smooth, what's up, man? How you doing?
Let me not Jay Smooth myself on a Tuesday morning. Wow, impressed with myself. It's gonna be a good day, I guess. I'm doing well. You know, on top of my stuff today. You know, I got the window open, so the lighting's a little different, but I'm vibing. It is a gorgeous day in New York City. We got like 40 or so games. So let's get to it. Let's talk about it. I haven't given any plays yet, so nobody really knows what I'm on today. So I got a little suspense. We got the tease, got the surprises coming. Let's get into it. I'll pull up the Sims and we can get started. It should be like right here.
Bring them up. Let me send a little tweet out and bring some
I
people
just tweeted. I didn't tag you, but I tweeted. But
I see.
I'm sorry.
That.
Yeah, my bad. I was rushing. The show was starting. You know how it is. All right. So let's see if I can get this to look good here. All right, that's pretty good. Thank you, Mr. Pivo. It's that fresh New York sunshine hat.
Let's do it.
You know, just happiness and basketball, bro. That's what life's all about. It's my favorite hat. I wear it every day. I think I've worn it every day on the show for like a year now. I literally hit up the guy who made it. I was like, if you have more of these, can you please send them to me? I'll pay you whatever.
There you go.
It's like my brand. This hat's my brand now. One day it's going to have to be retired and it's going to be an end of an era. But all right, let's get into it. We got the big games on top. So let's just jump right into those because I think those are the most fun. And then, you know, if people are rewatching later, what's up, people rewatching? They can jump right in. So, all right.
Absolutely.
From the top, Purdue, Illinois. What a game this is going to be.
What a game this is going to be. What a game it was the first time around that they played, right? Wasn't that one of the crazier games of the season?
Yes, it definitely was one of the craziest games of the season. I mean, I don't know. This is hard to say how it goes. Do we have revenge practice? I mean, revenge at play here. I don't know. What I mean, you definitely think it's going to be pretty close to that line, right? I mean, I gotta pull it up. But yeah, I'm all on like passing and watching this one, honestly, Mike. You know, like I usually go for games that are a little less watched, I guess.
Sure.
I don't want a lot of eyes on games. I don't want sharp lines on games. Yeah. I don't know. 6 is interesting though. I think taking the points in Illinois is probably the right call. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's super interesting. It really just comes down to the number that's out there at this point. And where's my
You've 3.5, 154 and a half.
I'm logging into Sportsbooks and it said they couldn't find my location on this computer. So I was a little concerned quickly. So this game, basically where the line is, I think that there's really only one way you can look. It's a pass or it's a take the dog because this line is 2 full possessions. And that's where it gets a little sketchy. So for me, I personally like Illinois in this game with the 6. I think they end up losing this game probably by 5. To be honest with you, I think it's a competitive game. Purdue's a little bit better. They win the game on their home floor. I think where I'm most interested though still is the over in this one. This profile is exactly like we've talked about. Some of these Big Ten overs. We know these teams can score points, right?
Yes,
we've seen it. I like this number down to 147 in the market. I'm up to 154.7 in the Sims. I truly, you know, my number, I know why it's high on this, just the way the simulations work, the way this conference plays. We typically are finding 3 to 4 points of edge on overs in this conference, and they've been hitting for the most part there. But I think this number should be closer to 150, frankly. Like I think that's where the number should be in the market. So I know you don't want to make this an official market movers play.
I think the
We
line's
can
fallen.
if you want to.
I think
Yeah,
I think last night when we were talking about lines, it was just in a different spot, right? So I think it was probably a little higher. And again, we're always fine to fade the model. I can't seem to get my app to work here.
So I'm going to Caesars on it now because Caesars, I believe, has the best price on this. It's a full point lower.
We
I'm
have what,
trying to log in on
145
this.
and a half?
146. Yes. FanDuel's up to 147 flat right now.
Yeah, PointsBet is 146. DraftKings 146 and a half. Yeah, I think I like that. Again, what happened with last night, right, is that this game opened at 148. So it just was outside like the threshold, right? So at 148, we like to look around 6, 7, even 7 or 8 is probably where we like to go with the totals on Mike's model. And again, it was right there. Like I remember saying it last night. I was like, 6.5, 6.8 points. Like this is so close to a play.
This one's kind of like the Kansas game last night. Did you see the Kansas game's total? Thing got steamed down 6 points to the point where on the closing line, the simulation had a pretty big edge on the over.
Would you consider waiting on this then? If it continues to get steamed down in a similar fashion because people think this conference plays slow?
It's possible. At 146, it's where I'd like to just probably grab it because I do think it could come back.
Especially with us talking.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to pull it up on William or Caesars.
Market movers, what are you gonna do?
I personally like it. If you don't want to make it an official play, we don't have to.
Dude,
but
I think at this level, it's probably a good play because I'm pretty confident about fading the market this year in college basketball. It's been profitable. The market, like Steam, doesn't really know what it's doing. Like chasing Steam has been a losing strategy this year. So fading Steam it usually feels okay to me. I trust that the public has no idea what it's doing and there's no real reason. And I don't know. I'd rather take the side that's, getting the points because it's moving away from the model's projections, right? Like that's kind of what line shifts are, right? Because we have these opening model projections that the public or the bettors move things and we can get closer to the model projections for free. So we can make this a model movers play. I'll grab it right now myself. Should be a good one. One of the best games of the day. And we saw that they had a double overtime game last time. I mean, the likelihood of that going to double overtime again is probably pretty slim. But
very slim. But
the chance of overtime between teams that might battle it out to the very last possession, overtime or a lot of foul shots, quick possessions, 10 points in the last minute, like all those things are going to be on the table today. So
so I'm playing the over. I'm going over 146. We can call it 146 and a half. That's kind of consensus.
I think that's probably fair. That's probably where most people are going to be able to find it today.
You're going to find, I got it just now at 146, but it's likely 146 and a half is what I'm showing everywhere. So for the official show, we'll make it 146 and a half. But
I mean, it is taking a loss condition. It's not great, but we'll survive. We will survive. All right, we run hot. Game? So I got 146 and a half. I have minus 105 though, so I might honestly wait and see if I can, or maybe I'll put like half my unit down now and see if I can get a little lower later. That's probably how I'm going to handle this. I do think it could keep falling, and that's usually a good way to attack that. But all right, spend a lot of time on that first game, but it's a big one. That's why we're doing the show today, right? We have so many good games. So next one up, Arkansas Auburn, man. I'm a big pass on this game. Auburn, I mean, we heard like some comments about how much they've done. Like they've just been going so hard. They've been playing big game after big game after big game. They have targets on their back every single time they play. They've been playing really well, but so is Arkansas. Arkansas maybe has more momentum here. What do you make of it?
Yeah, this one is it's interesting. This Arkansas team is like kind of, I don't want to say overperformed, but they've been very good. And they rate very, very well. If you didn't know much about and look at the ratings, you would think this should be Auburn -5 all day kind of thing.
Yep.
But when you dive into the ratings, Arkansas is good. Look at their defensive efficiency. Incredible. Nice. Like they're a top 25 team, man. They're great defensively. And we've seen at this time of the year, this is where home court advantage like really plays a factor in some of these bigger conferences like this. We saw it last night with Texas and Kansas. We see it a lot in these games. It's probably why, frankly, that last game we just talked about, Purdue, it's up to -6. They're giving a huge advantage to home court advantage at this point. Can't say that I disagree with it necessarily, but as far as where I'm at on the game, I think it's a very clear stay away. I don't really want any part of this game personally.
So I mean, Auburn has just been covering on the road, has been winning on the road too. So, I mean, they've won all 5 of their last road games. I just don't think that's going to continue. Eventually, that's got to run out, right? You don't just go this hot in conference on the road. Eventually, your legs give out. You lose a game like this against a good defensive team, maybe the best defensive team in the conference. I think if anything, I'm taking the plus money on the money line if I can get it, which I think you can get decent money, right? Like you can get plus 110 or so. And hey, I just got a buzz on Micah Roberts making a play on that. I gotta go look at what he says in a minute. But
on this game,
yeah, he just submitted a sports line pick.
Oh well.
I watch every.
So the only thing I could say on this, the only thing I could say on this game, depending on what the money line is, but I don't think it's big enough, is the Arkansas side. If you want to play with fire, you could bet Arkansas money line pregame. Hope that they have a decent start on their home floor, and you'll be able to grab the plus money line on the other side on Auburn and kind of arbitrage it and enjoy the game.
Do you think
kind of thing?
The total? I think like, oh man, this is tough. I think 150 might be perfect. Yeah, let's leave this alone. Well, I think leaving it alone is the right call. These are sharp lines. All right, Michigan State versus Wisconsin. We both just unfortunately got burned on Michigan State Saturday. They fell apart on the road against Rutgers. Now they have to go and play. What's his name? It's literally on the tip of my tongue. Johnny Davis, right? Am I tripping right now?
Yeah, Jonathan Davis. Yep.
Yeah, thank you. I literally I almost called him Johnny Football, I swear to God. But anyway, Johnny Davis been balling out, right? This is going to be a tough game. Wisconsin's good. Man, this is another one that I think you just throw your hands in the air and you say, I'm not going to bet it. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, I got nothing here. It's
nothing.
Dead on the market on the sim, basically. I'm -3.9. It's 4 in the market. Slight lean towards the under, but it's definitely not strong enough to play on the 137.5 on the 139 line. So,
man,
very easy to
think,
not.
I think this is actually probably a good underplay. I feel like maybe you're walking into that trap of the way that everybody thinks this conference plays, but I just think this has that chance to really get slowed down, be about every single bucket between these teams head to head. I feel like it has that. They have played lots of those games at like that 65-60, level. I think that has this potential. So I'm going to make, for me, I think this is going to be a non-model pick for me. Something like Gut's probably going to say, I'll probably go throw this. Yeah. Tim's also lean under, slow grind of play. Yep. I'm totally with you. They just had a game go over the number 2 on the 21st of January. So I think this one could be a little bit more slowed down. Wisconsin's going to try to win. They lost by 12 as underdogs the last time. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Wisconsin try to slow this one down, grind it out. I'm going to go on the under 0.2 unit play for me.
Grab it quickly. Grab it quickly if you're going to play it. It's my sim number is 135. It's just flicked down to 138.5 on FanDuel. So if you're finding the 139, what's up?
We have 137.5. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the simulation number.
Okay.
The market has now moved down to 138.5 on FanDuel.
Right.
It's going to continue to move down on this one. It's going to fall, but
yeah, for sure. And you can get it at Caesars 139.5 right now. Apparently, I'm not sure if that's still accurate, but I'd go check that if you're going to take the pick. So
yeah, it's part of a boost, which should tell you that you should like the under quite a bit when they're boosting Michigan State to win and the over 139.5. You should definitely like the under if the over is being included in the boost for sure.
Yeah. I don't know how I like that But yeah, that's a good play. I really like that play. Again, I think this one comes in, 67, 63, and we get right to 130 and they park it there. 139, probably too much. All right. Yeah, and 139 and a half is like, that's a gift. All right, next game on the list, UConn Marquette. Mike, I know you talked about it. You can see why Mike talked about it today. I'm also on this one. It won't be a model a market mover pick, but I mean, I took this team plus 3,000 to make the Final Four. Actually, I took them a couple weeks ago after they had a big win. They have the potential to really just put it together, right? And that is such a a key factor, right? It's not about like how good they look. It's about how good they can be and can they put it together for that type of run. So yeah, I really like this play. 139 on Caesars. Thank you. Yeah, 139 is pretty good there for that under. But yeah, no, this one, I think, yeah, I'm all over Marquette with you. It's hard to go the other way on this one. I mean, are we walking into a trap? I know we just trust the numbers here, but they've been playing so well.
Yeah, I mean, we got the best number of it for sure. Played 6.5 minus 102 last night. Some of you guys played +7 at +1 or minus 115. But I played the +6.5 minus 102. It is now 6 and minus 114. This game's definitely going to close at 5.5 or 5. So you still grab it now if you want to. Definitely grab it before it gets to 5.5. Still a huge difference between 6 and 5.5 in this spot.
Definitely.
I like it though.
Yeah, I got 7 last night. I'm thrilled.
This game, honestly though, this game does profile similar to the Arkansas Auburn game. Kind of one of those spots where like a lot of people like Marquette. We know Marquette has played well. A lot of people like Auburn. Auburn has played well. Arkansas and UConn are both underrated teams for sure. Like they are good offensively and defensively. These should still be tight competitive games, but I think it's a one possession game. As you see on the simulations here, minus 2.3. I'm calling it a one possession game at that point. I do still have UConn favored in this game. But I think it's a one possession game. I don't think it's the full 3, which is what we bet last night over on Discord. So that's where I'm at. Slight lean towards the over.
Apparently all
very close to an over. Oh yeah. Everyone's going to be over Marquette. It's going to be like the biggest square dog of the day by a considerable margin.
Yeah. And look, I mean, there's probably decent reason why UConn's favored this much. But yeah, I think it's just Big East. Big East is tough. I'll say that going into today. Big East is one of the tougher conferences to handicap right now, for sure. But yeah, let's keep on rolling. West Virginia, Iowa State. You have Iowa State favored. I got Iowa State plus 1.5 last night.
I like now.
Of course it is, which just goes to show, models and the public don't always agree. I'm seeing 2 consensus, 2 minus 105. Yeah, a couple 2.5s on FanDuel, DraftKings. Nice. I don't know. I was almost shocked you didn't take this one as one of your official plays today. Interested to hear what you're thinking about it.
Yeah, so I think that we're going to get some more news on it, right? But I think that it's just a spot where home court advantage is getting a little. Yeah, Iowa State is confusing. I see that in the chat from the Twitch side. Yeah, they're definitely a confusing team. They're definitely very up and down, inconsistent, high variance, whatever you want to call it, which is what we like. I like teams that are volatile, creates value in the market a lot of the times. It is a dangerous spot to go bet them on the road at West Virginia, but I don't trust the West Virginia team, to be honest with you. I had Texas Tech against them. They ended up covering the number that I played. They did not, I had Texas Tech and Texas Tech covered against them the other day. And Texas Tech lost players to injury during that game, road game at West Virginia. I don't trust this team very much. So that's not fair. A strong play either way. Just where the model leans, it's basically wrong team kind of favored. And I think the reason why is it's giving West Virginia, the market is giving West Virginia a little bit too much home court advantage. You see it in pretty much every game we've talked about so far. A little bit of the home court advantage shaded for Purdue, a little bit, in the UConn game, we think it's shaded a bit that way as well. Same kind of story here. So I haven't played it. The model says I should play it. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to try and get this to 3 before I do anything, because it's very clearly trending that way.
Yeah.
But once it gets to 3, that full
Definitely touch it
possession
up.
there,
Mhm.
basically 2
Yeah,
full possessions off from my sim number, that's where I'll be.
definitely. Also a potential live pick too. These teams
Yep.
can be streaky in game, which is always again another good opportunity. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Michigan is what I'm about to say. West Virginia. West Virginia has been a good over team, actually. There's some trends on the over if you're interested in them. I think 5 of the last 7 times that Iowa State's visited West Virginia, the game's gone over, and 10 of the last 12 total times they've met. So not a bad trend if you're into trend betting. Not going to put a play on
I'll
it.
take the under then.
You're going to go against the trend. I look again. I think
I have a
that's
model edge on the under, slight model edge.
Oh, you
I'm down
do?
to 126. The market's
Okay.
129 and a
Fair.
half. Yeah.
It looks like there's some disagreement in like how the money's been spread out too. So I don't know. I'm not touching it. Western Virginia's been going over a lot in their last couple games, 8 overs in their last 10, but on the year it's only 12 overs of 22 games. So it's not like they're due for an under. So yeah, I'd probably stay away. Iowa State, pretty slow team. Yeah, contrarian under, buck the trend play there. We can watch that report on it. All right. Northwestern Indiana. Oh man, this was. It's like literally, I think last night I yelled to myself, "Pass!" Like how this is just tough. This is just tough. It's half a point right now. It's just money line.
Yeah, it's a money line
I
situation.
don't know who's going to win, and I don't know who's going to win. You have a decent lean towards the over here.
Yep.
Can't say I have any feel either way. Again, these teams both can play slow. They both can go speed it up a little bit. This game could easily, another one that could come in at like 125 pretty easily, and it could also come in at 142 pretty easily, right? I'd probably lean under, but I'm not touching it.
Yeah. So if you're gonna play it, I lean towards the over, obviously, where the simulations are. If you're gonna play it, I would play it on DraftKings now. That one's moved on DraftKings to 135 and a half. At that point, once it gets under like 135, 136, I do lean into it a bit. I haven't played it yet, of course, but we'll watch it. Those are ones where I have enough of an edge to play it to begin with, but I know that it's trending down. So if anything, I'm just going to wait until game time to consider some of those.
These Power 5 conference games, a lot of times trend down, and leave opportunities at the closing lines to bet the overs. So if you're someone who has like the time and wants to like hone their craft and cut their teeth a little bit, looking at that and trying to get the last minute value on those lines closing like 3 or 4 points lower than what they opened at, and literally sometimes they fall off a cliff by like a whole point right before the close, right? I don't know. I'd fade that. I look, when books hand you value, it's usually not a bad idea. But anyway, that's something just to investigate. Maybe I have so many plans. I mean, my year got so messed up by accepting a full-time job. But I had like a lot of, which is obviously awesome, and I love it. That I love. I also love that I can do this and have that job. But I wanted to build out so much more for this model this year, and I'm going to try to do it this summer and plan it a little better. But there's so many things that I want to investigate and really start digging numbers on. But I guess a little bit of a relief there is that we're still so messed up from COVID that we have like literally no real data from the last 2 years for like the long run. Like everything's so messy and choppy. But yeah, really quick, some questions. We'll definitely get to these. Both those games will be covered today for sure. And then do you ever parlay money lines that are straight up on spread? Not really, actually. No. That's kind of not, we're both a little too statistical and understand the odds that we're passing up and the likelihood of losing a parlay. We're full unit spread bettors. Sometimes we'll donkey parlay for like 0.2, but that's about it. All right, Penn State, Michigan. Wow.
Pass.
I mean, I probably think this is going to be a great game. Penn State has been playing some really good ball this year. This is probably a game that they've had circled. This is Michigan. This is, the Final Four team from last year, right? Like this is no slouch of a team. And coming into Penn State, Yeah, I don't know. I think I probably lean Penn State. Probably get a little money on them. They've played some 2 decent good games. They've covered their last 2. They played a nice game against Wisconsin on the road. Now they're coming home, 3 days of rest in between games. They only played 2. This will be their second game in a week and a half. They're rested. Michigan State's played a little bit more. Now going on the road after a Purdue game 3 days ago. They lost and covered. I could see them failing to cover here. They failed to cover against Northwestern. They failed to cover against Nebraska. I don't. Yeah, alt spreads do make me cringe. It's very, very true. But yeah, I like Penn State. I like Penn State. I think the points are probably a good play. I also probably like the money line plus 110, plus 112 if you can find it out there. Plus 115 on BetMGM supposedly. Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go. I like them. I think they're live to win that game at home for sure. But
yeah, that's another one. You're not going to have a huge edge because the number's not massive early, but easy candidate for potential live arbitrage opportunity.
Gut play, feel play, watching this, this whole thing. All right. Quick question about how we build our models. Well, mine's built through Excel. I power query in some numbers and it runs a whole bunch of stuff and it tells me edges and combines things and weights things and learns on case-to-case basis. Mike, I think yours is done a little bit more back-end heavy, right? Has a little bit more Python involved. But that's probably a little bit more like, I don't know if you use like Panda libraries or anything like that. All that stuff. That's more like in hardcore.
If you're wanting to learn the way that I do it on your own, you need to understand and learn Monte Carlo simulation at the start of everything. That's going to be the most basic place to start, which is where I'm guessing the question is rooted in.
Yeah, right. That's the type of like estimations and projection systems that he bases it on. Mine's a little bit different. I run more of like an analysis aggregation. So it depends a lot on. It's like almost a little bit closer to machine learning than it is necessarily what Mike does. But they both function relatively similarly. Anyway, on to the next one. Stanford, UCLA. I mean, this Stanford team has been lucky all year. One of the luckier teams in the country, actually, according to KenPom. This has been one of those teams that, and it's very funny. You go look at the luck rankings on KenPom and you go look at the best ATS rankings in the country and they basically line up, right? Because if the books aren't right, if the models aren't right, it usually is attributed to shots falling that shouldn't or shots missing against them that shouldn't. And that's been happening with Stanford, so they could be due for some regression. This is a very potent UCLA team still. They're going to be a problem in March. I can't wait. They're going to be so much fun to watch. I don't know. Are you just passing on this one? I know you're really close on the line.
Yeah, really close on the line. Lean over, but not enough to play it. So
they go back and forth a lot.
Today, so. Yeah,
they go back and forth a lot. UCLA beat them in UCLA by 23 on the 29th, so about a week and a half ago. So this could have revenge written all over it. This could be just UCLA has, a matchup here that they can exploit and keep them to 50, 60 points again and get to 70 tonight. I probably lean that way. UCLA, I don't think it's luck with UCLA too often. If they're crushing you, it's because they're better than you. Lean UCLA, lean over. So probably a UCLA team total over if I had to make a pick, gun to my head. But yeah, I don't even see the lines. So I'm not even going to look into it. We don't need to spend time on it. St. John's Villanova. Man, this slate is
big one.
Awesome. I love today. This is one of those Super Tuesdays you look forward to. Man, this is so tough though. Like they're great games, but these are good lines, man. What do you think, Mike?
I like this one personally. I really do.
I see you do.
It was very, very, very close to making a play on it. It's not unsimilar from a game we're going to talk about next, the next game, very next game right after it.
Mm-hmm.
I personally think Villanova and Syracuse should both be 6-point favorites in this game. I obviously am telling you the simulations are telling you 8.3 on Villanova. I like Villanova. I do. I like good teams, and they're a good team in my opinion. Still, they still have all of the pieces. I think the number is just a little short here, so
They've won
I totally. Yeah, go
by at
ahead.
least 10 in all 3 of the last home games against St. John's.
Yeah, it's like I said, the number it's inflated a little bit.
Oh, but on the
It's
road.
because of the injury, of course, but like
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
they're
I know.
so
You don't
good.
really think he matters all that much, or at
Correct.
least Gillespie. I don't know about the other guards so much. I don't know who the other one they're missing is actually. According to Matrix, it's 2, or Nicholas says it's 2 guards. I know Gillespie's probably out. Who else are they missing?
Moore was hurt at one point, but I get that the reason why is they think they're both going to miss, but the team is so deep. Archie
Right.
Diacono is still fine. Like I like him. I think he steps up just fine personally, but I get it. That's why the market is going to be where it is. I just think the number is a little too soft still. Avoid it if you want. Again, it's why if you followed the early edge and all those things, I have a play on Syracuse. I haven't played this one yet. Waiting, watching, looking for that number to potentially come down even more as we get news on the injury situation.
Yeah.
Just watching it though. I think that this number, like I said, Tim's in the chat saying 6.8. I have it at 8.3. The general consensus is with these two guys out.
It's tough, dude. Today is like it's a great spread. It's a great line. It's right there. Should Nova be able to do it with the depth that they have against the quality of team? Like, yeah, they should be the more quality team. They should be able to win it by 2 possessions. And if it's close, I expect them to be leading. Fouls. I don't know if St. John's has what it takes to, cut into that lead. Villanova should hit their free throws. They're a good team. They're well coached. Those things matter in spread picking, right? So, I probably lean under because they've been going under against each other like ridiculously.
Yeah, I'll say that if you like the under at all, or you're concerned about the Gillespie and Moore both being out, I think the under is probably the better look here at that point for you guys, just because they, if those two guys are out and it really impacts them to the point where they're not going to win and cover the spread, it's likely impacting the total number of points in this game pretty significantly, as their offensive efficiency could really plummet. But
they also haven't touched 140 since 2019.
Yeah.
So if that means anything to you, I don't know. I know Mike might push you to the over, right? Like you hear that, like they haven't had a game go over 140 in the last 5 meetings.
I like Villanova -4. I am very close to playing it. I haven't yet. Yeah.
I might
doing on it. I know you don't like it. I can tell you don't like it.
Fox Sports 1 game. I mean, Villanova offense is still the 4th best in the country this year. I don't think 2 guards really kills them that much. St. John's defense is coming in around the middle of the pack in conference plays. St. John's is 8th in the conference, which really isn't that good for defense. They allow 35% offensive rebound percentage, which is dead last in the conference. They allow people to take a lot of threes, which means they probably just let people shoot. And if you're going to let Villanova shoot, they're probably going to get it done. They have the 2nd heaviest point distribution towards 3-pointers in the conference. The only thing that the problem is with St. John's, their free throw percentage this year is 62.7. That's literally Nova is the next worst in the conference. Or no, you know what? No, they're not.
Nova's the best free throw.
Yeah, I was reading their defense. Their defense, for whatever reason, they've been shot 78.5% against the free throw line, which is crazy. But St. John's literally shoots under 65%. Meanwhile, Villanova's shooting 87% in conference play. This is probably a Nova play. I'm probably talking myself into a Villanova play here.
I want to talk about it quickly. Why the simulation number balloons this to 8.3? It's not related necessarily to the injury much. Mm-hmm. What happens in situations like this is we have a drastic difference in terms of pace of play, right? The pace of play that St. John's plays with is absolutely ridiculous. It's a top 10 pace of play in the country. Villanova, we all know, is bottom 10 in the country, essentially.
Literally true.
What happens here? Yeah, literally true. But what happens here
356
is
for Villanova, 8 for St. John's in pace. That's ridiculous.
yeah, when you're playing with such a great pace, that's okay until you run into a team that is ridiculously good in terms of defensive efficiency. If you're playing with that kind of pace, but not converting and giving a team like Villanova that's good more opportunity at an increased pace of play, that's why you see situations like that and the numbers start to balloon a little bit more in the simulation. Yeah, it's really close. Like I said, I want to play it. I haven't yet.
I'll go
Still
put my
waiting out
point
on
two.
the injury news, but
I'm gonna go put my point 2 units on it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good. I don't think that injury. I think like Nova, this is a pretty experienced team too, I believe. I can double check right now. I do believe this Villanova team, yeah, they're one of the most experienced teams in the country. And that's usually a good sign for Jay Wright. Some of his best teams have been with experienced guys who he had for a couple of years on his roster. He's a great coach. This should be, it's going to be interesting. But I'm going to put 0.2 on it. I think it's the right play. I think 4, especially with how good they are at free throws, man. Like I like spreads with good free throw teams. It comes down to those 2 points.
All right. I am going to grab it now. FanDuel's hanging 4 at only minus 106. I'm seeing 4.5s already at minus 110, minus 105. So I am going to grab this. It does look like that it's trending. That I don't think it's going to hit 3.5 consensus. I was wanting it to hit 3.5 consensus, but I don't think it's going to happen. So this is going on an official market movers play, minus 4.
Sure. So that's our second official market movers play of the day. If you missed the first one, I'll be nice to you. It's over 146.5 in Illinois, Purdue. Nice number on DraftKings, according to Mr. Narco over here. Cool. All right, let's keep going. Hilarious that we've done 9 games. This is such a crazy slate today. South Carolina. Oh wow, I skipped one. Boston College Q. So no, Mr. Second Line, you have not missed us break down this game. As we know, Mike does think it should be Cuse. If you watched him this morning, if you want to see that breakdown, definitely go check out the Early Edge live from LA, which is so cool. I gotta say, it's awesome that everyone's killing it. I can't wait till I'm on it on Thursday. What do you think about that total? As Mr. Second Line's asking, you think it goes over?
Definitely. I definitely lean towards the over. When Syracuse is right offensively, these games should sail over. When they are right, like they are right now, they routinely put up 90 points, which does wonders for a total. Anytime the total's under 150, makes it really, 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 situation where they can win by 20. So I lean that way. I have not played the over officially. The biggest edge remaining on the game is the over, bigger than the spread at this point. We played this one minus 3.5 last night. It is minus 4.5, pretty much consensus everywhere. I think it probably stays there, potentially closes at 5. A Syracuse team total is an interesting way to look. I wish that it was 73.5 and not 74.5. But it is one way that I would lean for sure. I will say though
3.5, but yeah, I'd pass. I tailed you on Cuse.
Yeah,
but I'll leave it at that. South Carolina, Kentucky. Yes, Rex, we will. Stop watching tennis, dude. No one here likes tennis. No, but yeah, I think
Kentucky.
Right.
I mean, let's go
Kentucky, South Carolina. Let's talk about it. I think this is a nice lean for your model. I'm gonna take this today.
Okay.
Minus 11. You're at minus 14. Pretty much.
It's minus 10.5, minus 106 on FanDuel.
That's
pretty good
gorgeous.
Price there.
Let's do it. I think we found a market movers play. There's number 3.
Wow.
Oh yeah, dude.
I'll let you do it. I was not going to play that one, but I'll let it slide.
I think they're going to get it done. Done. South Carolina just lost to Tennessee big at home. Why can't Kentucky do it? They can. It's a huge number, man. But I'm with you here. I'm with you. Let's do it. So South Carolina in that last game, I just want to look at their stats really quick. basically, first of all, they were in this game. They were winning. No, they were only down 3 with 16 minutes to go. And then Tennessee literally turned it on and ran away in the second half. So I don't know. They just shot 31%. They really couldn't find anything from 3, shot 26% from deep, missed 14 threes against them. And now they turn around and 2 days later, Kentucky's in your building. And Kentucky's going to take advantage of everything they can. They just had a nice win against Bama. I think they're pretty legit. I think, have they played each other? I want to see. I think maybe they have. No, they haven't. Yeah, but this feels like it's the right play to me. 10.5 is definitely a nice line.
Yeah, I just played it on FanDuel for you. I didn't want to play it. The model says I should. You want to make it a play? We'll make it a play.
We'll make it a play. I think they get it done. Heavy favorite.
-106 on FanDuel.
But feels right. All right. It's Clemson, North Carolina. We just literally, the punches don't stop coming today. Like, we can't glaze over any of these games. They're all huge. They all have big March implications. Like, today is nuts. This is the first game of the day, technically. 6 p.m. tip. What are we thinking?
Yep.
I passed, personally.
I passed as well. Started before I put the Sims out last night. I started getting questions on Twitter like, hey, should we jump on Carolina now? Should we jump on Carolina now?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the says you want to play North Carolina here at +1, getting points. I didn't have the edge. Like, it's total pick 'em here. It is an over lean for me, as I expect a good effort in the game, but I can't get there. And, it's one of those where, you would kind of expect to have, Carolina -2.5 in this game is where, like, your head would tell you this line probably should be. Computer does not agree at all. It's dead on. So I can get to the total if you want to get there, but I don't really want.
I kind of like North Carolina, and I mean, I kind of lean over. I think if I had to choose, that's where we would go, and I'll tell you why. Okay, we just saw what happened with Duke yesterday, right? Coming off that huge game on Saturday, Duke had a big emotional letdown after that huge high. They crushed, their rival by 20 points in the last time Coach K ever saw them. And then what happens? They lay a dud, right? Well, I think the other way is going to happen here. UNC just takes a big loss at home against their hated foe, and they were cruising. They had won 4 straight before. They beat Louisville, NC State, Boston College, VT. All actually 3 of them at home. They beat Louisville on the road, but I mean, Louisville's been a little suspect this year. So,
right.
But nonetheless, I think this is a great bounce back spot for them. I think they're probably a little annoyed. This is probably a little emotional bounce back spot. I don't hate if they're underdogs. I definitely don't hate their team total over. I think they could probably show up. And again, you have 76, and my guess is they're being projected probably around 73. If I had to guess, but yeah, that's my take. No real play.
Yeah. All right. Creighton and Butler. Creighton -8. The total on this one 126 with a -120 on the over, so potentially a 126.5. The only thing I could get to here is the under. I have a little bit of an edge on the under. These two teams, when they match up, yes, Creighton can easily put up points at times. But a more likely scenario here is first team to 60 wins the game for sure.
Definitely.
So I lean towards the under. I have 123.5, but that's all I really have to say about this one.
I said it before. I'll say it again. Big East, been tough. It's just been tough. This is a tough conference to handicap. These teams trade back and forth.
It's just efficient on it.
Yeah. Right. I mean, Butler beat Creighton by 17 at home on January 26th. So don't be shocked if Creighton comes back and whoops them on their home floor today. That's my guess. Lean Creighton, definitely. And if you look, they'd probably get put into the donkey today because I'm pretty confident that they get that money line done. They should be pretty like fervently winning this game. They're definitely it would surprise me if Butler beats Creighton both times this season. It just would. I don't think that they can impose their style of play on the road nearly as well. So yeah, give me Creighton money line in a parlay. Give me lean on the Creighton spread. Next game up. Wow.
Vandy.
I mean, geez, give me Missouri. They've just been playing. No one's been able to model them this year, Mike. Like, what do you do when like every single model can't get a Missouri game right all year? Like, why has this team been performing so well? I don't understand.
I have a slight lead there. They're 8.5 in the market right now. I'm only making them 7.5-point dogs. It's a weird thing. I mean, just we're conditioned from football mostly, but it's just weird to see Vanderbilt favored by 3+ possessions in really anything at this point. But I lean towards Missouri here. Too close on the total to really attack either side. But if I had to play it, I would definitely take the points at 8.5 with Missouri. If you want to get cute, I think you could play Missouri moneyline pregame plus 260. I think that there's a chance that they could be even or have a 2 to 4 point lead at some point in this game, which would then essentially get you some sort of ARB opportunity back on Vanderbilt, but not something that I want to do. Not the edges aren't big enough to play it full pregame for me.
Yeah, I understand that take for sure. Like Sagarin makes this one 5.8, and then his recent metric makes it 2 points. That's crazy. This is like Missouri should be able to keep this within 2 possessions. I just, man, they've just been, but is this like one of those weird letdown spots where they just don't show up and then the Missouri team of old? Maybe. But they've been playing their minds out. They just have been playing their mind. They've just been playing better than anybody expected them to this year. I mean, they're currently playing as though they're, about 2 points better than they're expected, and Vanderbilt is playing worse than they're expected. So in actuality, like you could say Missouri's playing better right now. And I think that's probably true. I think Missouri might be the better team. Are they awful? Yeah, but Vandy's not great either. These are both like fringe top 125 teams. And I don't know. Results talk for themselves here. I think Missouri's been playing decent ball. I'm not going to play it, but this is one I'm really interested to see. Missouri, according to Haslametrics, leads the nation in positive momentum. First in positive momentum, sure. 9th in strength of schedule as well, but they're absolutely terrible on their on the road, and Vanderbilt's terrible on their home court. So I don't know. Pass, watch and see what happens. Should be fascinating. Yeah.
If you want to have fun, just do what I said. Take Vanderbilt plus 260 on the money line, or Missouri plus 260 on the money line. If they're ahead, bet Vanderbilt. You'll have easy free money on both sides.
Agree.
Or just don't play the game at all. Next game, though. Model is making a statement on the Bonnies and Fordham.
I'm on this one.
So the Bonnies are up to 12.5 in the market and minus 115 on that. They are trending to close at minus 13. Big number, a team that's capable of doing it. However, Sims have them at 9. You agree with the Sim? You disagree with the Sim? What do you think?
Yeah, give me Fordham. Give me Fordham. I'll take the double digit underdog here. I just will.
Yeah.
I just don't think I can't believe they keep giving these lines to St. Bonaventure. Fordham has looked better. I do think this is at St. Bonnie's though, right?
Yes, this is a home game for the Bonnies.
Right. So that's important here because Fordham's been a really interesting home team right now since they've only had one team with fans, but it looks like all the money's on Bonaventure, which I'm thrilled about. I don't know. My guess is that the people probably think that Fordham just won't be able to hang. But the Bonnies, they probably let this go. Like they probably just try to get the win. Fordham's going to play them tough. I wouldn't be shocked to see this at 11.
Yeah, I think it closes at 13. So play it at the close.
Is this a play? Is this a play for us today, Mike? Is this an official one?
I mean, I'd like 13. Let me see if I can find a 13.
Fine. But here's the deal, guys. 13 is an official play. If it hits it, no.
If it's 13, play Fordham against St. Bonaventure. Play at 12.5 if you want to. I want the extra when condition.
I'm going to put 13. The pro line alert on it from Action. The only thing they're actually good for. Send me an alert when it gets to 13 on any book. Appreciate that. That's kind of nice, but that's it. Anyway, we have a couple. There's definitely more games to go.
I want to interrupt because we'll have it in a few years, hopefully.
Yeah.
Why can't we have options like that on the sports book? I want to tell DraftKings, hey, I will play this game at 13. You have my permission. The second that it hits 13, place this wager for me.
And then that also lets them know that if they want money, they can like take it. Like it's like an offer.
Exactly.
It's like a gambling offer. Exactly. Like, hey, it's like a negotiation. Like you give me 13 and you get my risk. Like, yeah. All right, just scroll down. Again, there's a lot on the list today. We're not going to talk about every single one of these. I'll maybe talk about a couple I like really quick, maybe point out some of the bigger edges on the model. I know that we hit most of them. We hit Marquette, Kentucky, Fordham, Iowa State. We hit the Purdue, Illinois over. There's maybe two more big edges that we definitely want to touch on. One of them is going to be this St. Louis game. And I think I actually need to scroll down more because, yeah, you have them at 12.7 here on a -7.5. I mean, this feels like a model movers, a model movers, yes, a market movers play. This feels like one. I'm on it. I already have my bet down. I don't know. LaSalle just like what? Didn't they just upset somebody? I just don't think they have back-to-back games like that, like George Washington or someone. I got
all right,
but
I'll play. I'm blindly going to play it on FanDuel right now. -7.5.
George Mason, yeah. LaSalle just beat George Mason by 5, so I think this is bang. I think this is right back to the normal. They're gonna get beat again. They're not gonna have 2 back-to-back games like this. St. Louis is pretty legit this year. They're coming off of some decent wins. They just covered against Dayton, George Mason, Duquesne. They couldn't get 17.5 on George Washington, but this is not that big. Like, I feel like George Washington and LaSalle are pretty even, and they beat George Washington by 13. I think they can get this one by 10. I understand why it's 7.5, but my guess is it's going to come in around 9-10 points. Is my guess.
Yep. All right.
So there's another market movers play. Cool. I don't know. The only other game. What do you think of this? I mean, I know what your model thinks, but like, how do you feel about the URI VCU total here?
Yeah, I knew that's where we were headed on this one. It's almost a blind play for me. Yeah. I think you got you had it.
Did I have it?
Yeah, it's right above Tulsa, Toledo, Ohio, right there. VCU. Yep. This one is it definitely profiles as one that we would have to play.
Yes.
It's gross when you find a number that low and you're taking the under on it, but that is definitely where the computer is on this. Not a lot to say about it.
Yeah. Like, it was 122.5 last night, 123. Yeah, I got 123.5 last night. So it actually might not be. If you can find, I think DraftKings still might have 123. I would try to get that.
What this is about, like VCU, they're very, like, the metrics will tell you they're a top 10 defense. I'm not ready to say they're top 10. I'm ready to say they're maybe top 20 personally. However, the other team, Rhode Island, also very good defensively. Mm-hmm. Both teams terrible offensively. Both teams worse than 250th in terms of offensive efficiency, with defenses and defensive efficiency of teams that are like legit top 8 seeds in the tournament, right? Yes. So that's why the number is so low in the simulations here. Like, of course, they could find their rhythm and have a good shooting day. And like, if they do that at all, you're not going to cash this under because the total is so low on it. But that's why you see this number coming in at 115. I like it. I think we can play it, but I'll ultimately let you decide if you want to play it. But the model definitely says to do so.
My only concern is that consensus is now 2 points lower than it was last night.
Is it? So we basically missed the opportunity to play it.
I grabbed it last night. When I texted you about it last night, I said 123.5, and it's, it's fallen a bit. I guess if you can find 123 out there, yeah, I still think it's
have this game on FanDuel.
Right. So I don't know. Probably not an official one. We won't scream and yell if it hits. I'll put it on my action app. We'll look at it, but we'll go with 4 plays today. And let me recap them really quick because I do have to run. We're going to go with the Kentucky -10.5 pick. We're going to go with the Fordham +12.5 pick. We're going to go with Nova -4, and we're going to go with Illinois Purdue over. 146.5 are the 4 plays today. And then I can really quickly build a donkey out of some of these lines here. I know, Super Tuesday donkey, special episode donkey. Let's get it done. Again, if you want the rest of these numbers, if you didn't take them down or look at the games you want while they're up, you can always, if you're not in the Discord, highly recommend it. Come play poker with us in the evenings and sweat some bets. It's fun. But all right, Mike can probably post the Discord link. I'll grab some lines here. Okay, let's see. I'm just scrolling on action. A lot of tightly contested games. All right, let's start off easy. Let's start off with St. Louis to beat LaSalle. Should definitely happen. Give me Liberty. Or give me death. I guess it's fair. If they lose, we're done. I think Miami, Ohio, Western Michigan. Yeah, Western Michigan's bad. They haven't won in the conference all year. Give me that. Buffalo should definitely crunch Eastern Michigan. Give me Kentucky to beat South Carolina, even though I bet if it's going to lose, that could do it. Ball State to beat Central Michigan. Yes. Bonnie's to beat Fordham. They're probably going to win that game. I don't know that they're going to cover, but they're probably going to win. If you want to leave it off out of principle of not being on the money line that you're betting against the spread with, understand it. Give me Indiana State. I do like that team. Monmouth should get that done. I like this Monmouth team a lot, actually. That's another one of my picks that's going to be on my action app. You can go follow that for all this stuff today. Akron's probably getting it done against NIU. And I don't really want to go past 10 picks, honestly. I don't trust Creighton. I don't really want to put San Francisco -2,500 or USC -3,000 in my parlay. I would maybe add UCLA, but again, Stanford's getting so lucky. We'll go 10. We'll go 10 picks, 10-way parlay, plus 460 or so. St. Louis, Liberty, Miami, Ohio, Buffalo, Kentucky, Ball State, Bonaventure, Indiana State, Monmouth, Akron. Track it. All right. It's on my action app. There's your donkey of the day. So it was fun. Thanks for tuning into Market Movers, and we'll see you tomorrow. We'll be back.
We'll be back tomorrow.